Hello everybody, it's Flesson19, and today I want to bring you an updated guide to one of my most popular videos ever, and that is how I choose and train companions. Some people just like to grab a companion and go, and that is pretty good for some characters, which deal a lot with the fighting skills. You can get quite a few of them that have already developed, good to go, and you're off and running. However, there are a lot of things that definitely need to be trained, and if you want to take the time to train them up, they can become pretty powerful. So if you want to know how to choose and train companions, this will be the guide for you. First of all, when you look at companions and you go to your encyclopedia, all it's going to show you when you click on one is when they have, I believe it is over 60 skill. That's all it's going to tell you. However, the problem is it doesn't tell you one very important thing, and that is how much available learning they have. This is very, very important. And the reason why is because if you take a character like this and think, oh, he's got 90 skill, but as you can see, he is hard capped. And I will explain a learning rate and the hard cap in just a moment. So that can be very misleading, as if you take a spice vendor, for example. I have had spice vendors that have had their learning rate all the way up to here, and I have had them with literal learning rates of just, I believe it's 18 is the hard cap. Yeah, it was 18 was the hard cap. That means it would require you 3 full levels to get them out of the hard cap. So while looking at that might give you a good idea of what their skills are currently at, it will not tell you how much their hard cap is. So most of the time, you just need to grin and bear it and buy a companion to see how much skill they have. A general rule, and let me use this term very, very loosely. The age of a companion should help determine what their level is. The younger the companion, they should be a lower level. It is not always like that. Do we have a spice vendor or do we have a warrior? Shield maiden. Shield maidens are high class warriors. They are normally going to be around 17, 18, 19. You could see she's 29 years old. She most likely will be in that upper, right up near 20 level. Where if you take somebody like, I believe the Black or Frostbeard, as you can see, the Black is only level 24. So like I said, use that word loosely. Use that as a gauge to see, okay, she might be younger. But as I said, it does not always work out that way. So that's how you can quickly just look at the list to see which ones you have on your list to decide what you want to go ahead and grab. Now, there are two things when it comes to companions and when they're gaining skills. One is your learning rate, which is this right here, and the other one is your hard cap. Now, I will give you the mathematical formulas. For your learning rate, there's technically two formulas that are mathematically possible. I will give you what I think is the easier one. It comes out to be focus times 30 plus attribute minus 1 times 10. So let's run through that. Focus times 30. We have 2 focus. That's 60. Attribute minus 1 is 2 times 10 is 20. 20 plus 60 is 80. And there you could see the learning limit is 80. To figure out what a hard cap is, a hard cap, that is the maximum they can reach. It is focus times 40. And then it is attribute times 14 minus 10. That tells you she will never be able to hit the 125 perk. So that is how you calculate learning rate and hard cap. Now, your learning rate is a number that goes up the same for when you put focus and attribute points in. That number will stay the same as a 1.5.10. They have changed it. It used to drop from level 1 until it got to their hard cap, unless you put more points in. Now, that will stay until I believe just before the learning limit, right around in here. From here until their cap, then that number will start to decrease until it hits 0. So you can add more learning rate to cause that number to stay on there longer, and also the more points you put in increases that number. And that brings you into how to choose a companion. What you want to look for is that green. Learning where these are at is going to help you to train them so much easier. So choosing the right companion is just as important as actually leveling the companion. So sometimes you just have to grin, bear it, and buy the companion to see where their learning rate and their hard cap is. How to train the actual companions. There are technically 7 different things that I am going to entail when it comes to training companions. First of all, we are going to have roles. If you want to assign them a role, they will learn that within your group. Obviously, scouting, whenever you scout, they're going to learn it. Medicine, whenever somebody gets injured, then they're going to gain medicine, or they recover from an injury as well. So having a lot of injured that you could take from another one of your parties into yours can help you learn it. Engineering has been changed recently. Now, not just building the siege equipment gains engineering, but also as your siege engines are firing and destroying their stuff, it also gains engineering. So sometimes just letting your guys continue building and destroying stuff, you will gain engineering, so it is a little bit easier to gain. The last one is Quartermaster. That is where you're going to gain the Steward skill. There are 2 very important things when it comes to Quartermaster. To start gaining Quartermaster skill, you must have at least 4 different consumables on your character. If you have 3 or less, you will not gain Steward. Second of all, how much Steward you gain will be dependent upon how many troops you have in your party. If you have over 100 troops and you give somebody who has Quartermaster 1 Steward skill, they could end up gaining 10 or 15 points in their first day alone. So 4 different food to start gaining Quartermaster. The more troops increases the learning rate. One of the widest ones to learn multiple skills is in creating a party. Now, I will caution you that the skill gains in running a party on their own, not in your army, is very, very slow. They do not gain points very quickly running their own party. However, the advantages of doing that is the skills that they can actually increase while running a party. They will gain any weapon skill that you have equipped for them. They will gain riding or athletics depending upon whether or not you have them on foot or a horse. All party leaders gain scouting. That also affects caravans. Tactics, whenever a battle is simulated. Same thing, caravans. Roguery, whenever they defeat parties and they turn in prisoners, they will gain roguery. Same thing with caravans. Leadership, whenever troops are hired, you gain a little bit of leadership, so they will gain that as well. Obviously, Steward, just having members in your party will gain Steward. Same thing for caravans, they can gain that as well. Medicine, obviously, when the troops get hurt, they're going to end up getting healed. So your party leader and caravan leader will gain that as well. Engineering. Engineering right now is a little bit of a buggy situation in that whoever is assigned the engineer will gain engineering. Your other party leaders, if they are in an army with you, they will gain engineering. If you have engineering assigned to a companion, you yourself will also gain a little bit of engineering. So just off of building one building siege engine, you could have 3 different people gaining engineering. This is as of 1.5.10, so that is subject to change. So it is the easiest way to get multiple skills, but just be advised it is a very slow way to do it. If you want to gain the charm skill, your companions and or family members can now become emissaries. Anytime one of your parties is disbanded, or they get captured and they get released, or if you get married and they run to a town, they will automatically act as an emissary. Anyone not in your party at a town will become an emissary as long as they are 18 years old. So your children do not act as emissaries. If you want to create an emissary, and in the upper right hand corner, you can click on a person, hit their name, leave in settlement. Frostbeard is now in the settlement and will act as an emissary. Every so often, they will run a charm check to see if they are successful. If they are successful, they will increase relation with one of these notables. As the charm skill increases, so do the relation gains, so they can become higher. They also will be able to gain the charm skill, depending, of course, on their learning rate. Whereas you can see, Frostbeard has a very, very low learning rate, where you take my wife has a very high learning rate and skill. She will get successes much faster. She will get me more relation, and she will gain more skill because she has a higher level. So that is how emissaries work. To get trade, run a caravan. Now, running a caravan will get you trade. It is not the fastest way in the world. It's going to take a little bit of time. It does go up and it can be decent, and trade is the number one factor in how much a caravan does make. But as I stated earlier, they will also gain potentially scouting, tactics, roguery, steward, medicine, and any other fighting skills they have when they get attacked, or they scout out different things, or people are recovering from injuries. Also, the leadership when they lose in battles and they have to recruit more. Governors. Right now, governors are set up so that when you do create a governor, they will get a bunch of perks to use to help out your settlement. Right now, they are gaining steward. There has been talk, and we are trying to get this implemented, that they should also be able to gain engineering while they are doing projects. It makes perfect sense that that should happen. We are pushing for that, but as of 1.5.10, right now, they do not gain engineering. One of the greatest ways to get skills very fast is by doing bandit bases. You can make great money, relation, charm by doing bandit bases. If you take your companions in there with you, it's going to be like having a mini battle. They will gain athletics, bow. They'll go ahead and they will gain any weapons you have, whether it's throwing, crossbow, one-handed. So it is a really good way to do multiple things in a bandit base and also train your companions at the same time. One of my favorite ways to gain skills for the companions, mostly riding and bow, is giving them a bow putting them on a horse, and going after a pack of looters. This is the correct way in which I do this, and there I will explain why I do it this way. First of all, move everybody back as quick as possible. Get them back.
Move!
Then take your archers or your companions and have them in one party group and send them out. And then move back as well. Now, the reason why we do this is because if we get far enough away from the looters, they will not draw to us. They will stay on those companions. They are now just going to ride around in a circle and shoot. And if you look at the lower left-hand corner, you will see skills that will pop up. This was only 8 of them. Obviously, the more you have, the easier it is for them to hit, and they're going to gain more skill. Upgrading their bows, their horses, their arrows will help as well, especially the bows and the arrows to hit more and to do more damage. Here you can see the spice bender gained in bow. This does take a little bit of time to do. However, if you are the type of person that doesn't need to get the game over with super quick, this is an absolute amazing way to train your companions, as this takes no in-game time to do. This just takes real world time. So you're not spending a lot of in-game time to go ahead and waste on training companions. And then also, once they start fleeing, you can go ahead and attack them yourself. That way you can gain skill. Also, if you want to, after a little bit, you yourself can come in here. And if you want to practice on them, then you can do that also. So you can just come in here and they will eventually come after you. And then you can start going after them. So that way you can gain skill at the same time. The final thing I will touch on will be this little symbol right here. And that is a tournament. Now, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can just sit in town if you want to, and as soon as the tournament is ending, they will automatically sim it, and your guys can get into there as well. You can also go into there and you can enter the arena, or you can watch the tournament, or you can join the tournament. Now, they are going to obviously use the weapons that are associated with the culture. With the Empire, it is normally one-handed in a shield. Batania is normally two-handed. So they'll gain normally in those areas. They can use other weapons from time to time. So tournaments is a little bonus thing to watch out for in training companions. I hope this upgraded version to my previous video has helped you out any. If you have any questions, please ask. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care, and thanks for watching.